Hello, here's a sight you haven't seen for a little while. We've got a rainstorm happening. It's been going on part of the night and all day, and in fact we're due rain on and off for about the next 9 or 10 days. Yes! This isn't something I say in winter, but we've had this hot spell for about 3 weeks with very little rain. We've had some rain overnight, and one day we had about 17 seconds of rain, which obviously wasn't going to do the plants very much good. So they've had all this warmth and they've put on a massive amount of growth, but the ground being really dry will have put quite a lot of stress on them. So a good load of water now, and it's not coming down really heavily. This is quite a fine rain, but there's an awful lot of it, so it's going to get the ground wet. It's going to get soak right down in through the layers and get the water to the roots, which I'm really pleased about. So the next thing that should happen is, as it's still fairly warm, those plants should go whoosh and grow really quickly, which is what we want. We want them to be big and healthy plants. So this morning I popped out in the rain and I took most, although not all, but I took most of the plants out of the greenhouse and I've put them on the decking outside the house and just in front of the greenhouse, raised up on boxes to discourage slugs and snails getting at them, to let them have a bit of a cool down, have a drink of the rain, and partly to start hardening them off some more. So what's left in the greenhouse, just because I haven't taken them out yet, is on this side is the runner beans and the sweet corn, and on this side are a few brassicas, and I'm not super keen to put the brassicas outside without putting them under some netting, so I might go and pop them down underneath one of the tunnels that I've put out there to stop the butterflies getting at the brassicas. Don't want to just sit them outside because it only takes a very cunning butterfly to flit out in the rain and lay its eggs, and then that's all of that batch probably devoured by caterpillars. So at the moment I'll just keep them in here. But obviously a butterfly can get in, but they're just more obvious if they're sitting outside. My plan for the next few days, while it's still raining, is to get on with stuff in the house, because while I'm busy doing stuff in the garden, the house gets a bit neglected, so we'll be doing lots of catching up with stuff in there. But the other thing I want to do is try and actually plant some of these plants as they get hardened off into the ground, because they all look very lovely in their pots, but if they don't get in the ground to grow, that's as far as they get. They just look lovely and then they get pot bound and die, so it's quite important that I do the next stage on as well. So I'll do that in between rain showers. So she's looking around with no break in the clouds in the sky. There's just layer upon layer of rain clouds and black clouds and grey clouds and more black clouds. So I don't think it's going to stop any time soon this afternoon. And so back inside my somewhat chaotic kitchen, lots of washing up waiting to be put away, and lots of cooking waiting to be done. But I've made a start this morning. I've made a sticky ginger cake, which obviously had to be sampled a couple of times just to make sure it was okay for human consumption. I'm just about to make a chicken casserole for our lunch. We eat lunch mid-afternoon when Mr. J gets back from work. So on a day like today, which is rainy but it's not actually cold, I'm going to try and make sure it's something warm but it's not something too heavy. So we're having a chicken casserole using the chicken legs from the chicken that was dispatched 2 or 3 days ago. I did pop out into the garden earlier on and harvest it. Ta-da! One small red onion. Obviously it's not very big, it's not huge, it's not tiny, but it will be enough to flavour our casserole, and what I can, I'll also use some of the green leaves. Very pleased with these. These were planted as onion sets in the autumn, and I bunged in a couple of 100 onion sets in the hope that we'd have some onions fairly early in the year, and they survived all those storms and the snow and the frost, and I'm really pleased that they're looking pretty good. So that's my next thing, is to get this casserole made, get it in the oven so it's ready when Mr. J gets home. And the other thing I've been doing this morning is checking through the subtitles on some of my videos. Not on every video, but on some videos I put subtitles on for anyone who is hard of hearing or has a loss of hearing, and also for anyone who just doesn't quite catch what we're hearing because we're speaking too quickly or they're not familiar with our accent. But the thing about the automated subtitle system is that it writes down what it hears us say as opposed to what we actually said, and part of that is because we mumble or we talk too quickly, or it could be interpreted as something else. But it actually has me crying with laughter for some of the subtitles, which are so far off the mark of what we've said. So I had quite a smile working through the video that Mr. J and I made yesterday, where yes, this automatic subtitle system had a bit of a field day with putting the wrong words in it. If you use the subtitles and there's a video that you particularly want subtitles and I haven't done it yet, please just leave a comment on that video. I will pick it up and then I'll subtitle it as quickly as I can, so that you can actually hear what we were actually saying rather than what the automated system thinks we might be saying. Well, that's it for me today. I need to get on with this casserole so it's got time to cook in the oven before Mr. J gets back. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one. I hope the weather's doing something that you want it to. And I also hope you'll join me again tomorrow.